What if the happiest place you've ever lived wasn't a place at all, but a time? A time before every pocket carried a screen, before the world began rushing faster than our hearts could follow. A time when evenings arrived slowly and nobody felt guilty for doing absolutely nothing. Perhaps, without realizing it, we all left something behind there. Not a house, not a toy, not even a childhood, but a quieter version of ourselves. Welcome to Moon Hollow Stories. I'm your host, Rashid. Leave the day behind, take a deep breath, and make yourself comfortable. Wherever you are, I hope tonight's story brings you a little peace before you fall asleep. Now, let's begin. Tonight, I'd like to take you back, not to one country, not to one village, but to a feeling that millions of people around the world once shared. Close your eyes if you'd like, and imagine a small village resting gently between green hills and a winding river. The year is 1994. Morning doesn't begin with alarms. It begins with birds. The first rays of sunlight slip quietly through thin cotton curtains. Somewhere nearby, an old rooster proudly announced another ordinary day. The smell of warm bread drifts through the cool morning air. Someone is already sweeping a small front yard with a handmade broom. Another neighbor slowly opens wooden shutters. Life wakes gently, without hurry. In one of those little houses lived 12-year-old Noah. Noah wasn't extraordinary. He wasn't the smartest child or the fastest runner. He simply belonged to the village, the way old trees belong to quiet fields. His greatest worry each morning was deciding where today's adventure might begin. Some days, it started beside the river. Other days, beneath the giant oak tree standing proudly near the village square. And sometimes, it began with nothing more exciting than hearing a familiar whistle outside his bedroom window. That whistle always belonged to his best friend, Leo. No phones, no messages, no calendars. Just one cheerful whistle. And somehow, everyone knew today had officially begun. Noah quickly pulled on faded blue shorts, an oversized striped shirt, and worn canvas shoes that had already survived more summers than anyone could remember. His grandmother laughed softly every time she saw those shoes. "I think they're growing older with you." Noah always smiled. "They still run fast enough." Outside, morning air carried the scent of fresh grass still covered with tiny drops of dew. The dirt roads stretching through the village held bicycle tracks from yesterday and footprints of children who probably refused to go home before sunset. A gentle breeze moved through tall wheat fields like quiet waves across a green ocean. The world felt impossibly large, yet wonderfully safe. There was no rush to become successful, no pressure to become famous, no endless list of goals waiting to be checked. Children simply wanted another beautiful day. Adults simply hoped the weather stayed kind. And somehow, that felt enough. Noah and Leo walked toward the old wooden bridge crossing the river, not because they had somewhere important to go, but because bridges always seemed like good places to begin an adventure. Below them, clear water reflected drifting white clouds. Tiny fish moved lazily beneath smooth stones. Dragonflies hovered above the surface, their delicate wings sparkling in sunlight. Neither boy spoke for several minutes. Silence never felt uncomfortable back then. Sometimes, friendship sounded exactly like quiet footsteps walking side by side. Eventually, Leo smiled. "I wonder where this river ends." Noah shrugged. "Maybe somewhere people have forgotten how to smile." Leo laughed. Then let's never follow it that far. Both boys laughed together. The sound disappeared into open fields, where only birds seemed interested enough to answer. By late morning, more children slowly appeared. Nobody organized the games. Nobody needed invitations. One child carried an old soccer ball patched together more times than anyone could count. Another arrived with a homemade kite. Someone else found smooth stones perfect for skipping across water. There were no expensive toys, no batteries, no charging cables, just imagination doing all the work. Hours passed almost invisibly. Sometimes they raced through tall grass. Sometimes they climbed gentle hills simply to see what the world looked like from a little higher up. Sometimes they lay quietly beneath enormous trees, guessing the shapes hidden inside drifting clouds. One cloud looked like a giant whale. Another looked like a sleepy dog. One looked suspiciously like Noah's teacher. Everyone laughed until their stomachs hurt. It wasn't because the joke was especially funny. It was because childhood never asked laughter to make sense. Around noon, the distant sound of a small brass bell floated across the fields. Not loud, not urgent, just familiar. Every child instantly understood. Lunch was ready. No schedules, no reminders, just one simple sound echoing gently across the village. Children scattered happily in every direction. Some waved goodbye, others promised, "Meet back here after lunch." Nobody questioned whether they would. Everyone came back. Because back then, keeping your word felt as natural as breathing. And somehow, everyone trusted tomorrow. As Noah walked home beneath the warm afternoon sun, he had no idea that years later, this perfectly ordinary day would become one of the most extraordinary memories of his entire life. Afternoons in the village always seemed longer than the clock could explain. After lunch, the grown-ups rested behind half-open windows, while the children quietly slipped back outside, as if the fields themselves were calling their names. The sun had softened. A warm breeze wandered through rows of corn. Somewhere nearby, a wind chime sang gently beneath an old porch roof. Noah and Leo met again beneath the oak tree, exactly where they had promised. No one ever wondered if the other would show up. Back then, trust wasn't something people talked about. It was simply how life worked. That afternoon, someone suggested building a tiny raft from fallen branches. Nobody had instructions. Nobody searched for ideas. They simply gathered sticks, tied them together with old rope, and carried their little creation toward the river. The raft floated for only a few minutes before slowly falling apart. Everyone laughed, not because it had worked, but because they had built it together. Failure never ruined the afternoon. It simply became another story. As summer drifted on, every day seemed to bring a different adventure. Sometimes the children wandered into nearby orchards where old apple trees stretched their branches toward the sky. The owners always pretended to be strict. "If I catch anyone stealing apples," they would shout from far away. The children would run, laughing so hard they could barely breathe. But somehow, every family still received a basket of apples before autumn arrived. That was simply the way neighbors cared for one another. When the weather turned rainy, the village slowed even more. Heavy drops tapped gently against rooftops. Small streams formed beside the dirt roads. The air smelled of wet soil and fresh leaves. Inside Noah's house, rainy afternoons felt almost magical. His grandmother would place a kettle over the stove. Soon, the gentle whistle of boiling water filled the kitchen. Fresh bread, homemade jam, and warm soup waited patiently on the table. Outside, rain painted soft circles across puddles. Inside, time almost stopped. Sometimes, Noah sat beside the window for nearly an hour, watching the rain without feeling bored for a single moment. Today, that almost sounds impossible. Electricity didn't always stay. Some evenings, without warning, the lights quietly disappeared. No television, no internet, no complaints. Someone simply lit a candle. Its warm golden glow filled the room with dancing shadows. Noah's grandfather would slowly lean back in his old wooden chair. Then he would begin another story, not because he had memorized one, but because every memory seemed to become a story once enough years had passed. He spoke about winters that buried entire roads beneath snow, about walking miles to school, about friends who remained friends for 50 years, about ordinary days that became unforgettable only after they were gone. The children listened carefully, not because they had to, because stories felt warmer than silence. Outside, the rain continued. Inside, somehow, the world felt complete. On weekends, families gathered in the village square. Someone always carried an old radio. Music drifted softly through the evening air. Parents talked without checking the time. Grandparents sat quietly on wooden benches. Children invented games using little more than imagination and open space. No tickets, no reservations, no expensive entertainment. Only people enjoying one another's company. And somehow, that was enough. As daylight slowly faded, fireflies began appearing above the grass. Tiny floating lights, like stars that had forgotten to stay in the sky. Noah and Leo often tried catching them inside empty glass jars. Only for a minute, just long enough to admire their gentle glow. Then they always opened the lid again. Watching each little light disappear back into the night somehow felt more beautiful than keeping it. Without realizing it, they were already learning that some wonderful things are meant to be appreciated, not owned. Autumn arrived quietly. The mornings became cooler. Leaves slowly turned shades of gold and deep orange. Children gathered fallen leaves into enormous piles before jumping into them again and again. Every afternoon carried the comforting smell of wood smoke rising gently from distant chimneys. The harvest season brought the entire village together. Neighbors helped neighbors. No one counted the hours. No one expected payment. Work ended with shared meals, shared laughter, and grateful hearts. Noah often noticed something he didn't fully understand back then. The adults weren't rich. Many worked incredibly hard. Some worried about money. Yet somehow, they still found time to sit outside together after sunset. They watched the stars, talked about small moments, laughed over simple memories. Nobody seemed afraid of silence. Nobody believed every minute had to be productive. Life wasn't perfect, but it wasn't constantly rushing either. One crisp evening, Noah and Leo climbed the highest hill overlooking the village. The sun slowly disappeared beyond distant mountains. Golden light spilled across rooftops, fields, and winding paths they had walked 1,000 times. Neither of them spoke for a long while. Finally, Leo smiled. "Do you think we'll always live here?" Noah looked across the quiet valley. "I don't know, but I hope we never forget this place." Leo nodded. "I don't think we could." The two friends watched the first stars quietly appear above them. Neither realized that life would eventually carry them in different directions. New cities, new responsibilities, new worries, new dreams. But somewhere inside both of them, this peaceful evening would remain untouched, waiting patiently, to remind them who they had once been. Sometimes, the greatest treasures of childhood were never the toys we owned or the games we played. Sometimes, they were simply the people who made ordinary days feel unforgettable. And perhaps, those memories never truly disappear. They simply wait for quiet nights like this to gently find their way home. Years have a quiet way of changing everything. They don't usually arrive with loud announcements. They simply replace one season with another, one morning with the next, until one day you suddenly realize your childhood has become a memory. Nearly 30 years later, Noah found himself driving along a familiar country road. The village appeared slowly beyond the rolling hills, just as it always had. The river still followed its gentle path. The mountains still watched silently in the distance. The old oak tree, though taller now, was still standing faithfully beside the village square. For a moment, it felt as though time had simply been waiting for him. He stepped out of the car and breathed deeply. The air smelled exactly as he remembered. Fresh grass, warm earth, a hint of wood smoke drifting from a nearby chimney. Some memories aren't stored in photographs. They're hidden inside familiar scents. The dirt road had been paved. A few new houses stood where open fields once stretched. Children rode bicycles through quiet streets. Some laughed exactly the way Noah and his friends once had. For just a second, he could almost see 12-year-old Noah racing across the village with Leo close behind. Then the vision quietly faded, leaving only a gentle smile. He wandered toward the old bridge. The river still whispered beneath it. Dragonflies still danced over the water. A fisherman sat patiently nearby, doing nothing more than watching the current. Noah smiled to himself. The world had changed, but not everything had been left behind. As evening approached, he noticed an elderly man sitting outside a small cafe. The face looked older. The hair had turned completely gray, but the smile was instantly familiar. Leo? The man looked up. For one quiet second, neither of them spoke. Then they laughed, the same effortless laughter that had once echoed through these very fields. Some friendships don't disappear. They simply grow quieter with time. They spent the evening walking through the village together, past the school, past the orchard, past the little square where families once gathered every weekend. They remembered names long forgotten, old games with impossible rules, rainy afternoons, broken bicycles, the patched soccer ball, the little raft that had floated only a few minutes. And somehow, those tiny moments had become the biggest treasures of all. Eventually, they climbed the same hill they had visited as boys. The sunset looked different, yet somehow exactly the same. The village rested peacefully below them. Lights slowly appeared in windows. A dog barked in the distance. Someone laughed nearby. The evening breeze carried familiar sounds across the valley. Leo spoke quietly. "Do you remember what we said here all those years ago?" Noah smiled. "I said I hoped we'd never forget this place." Leo nodded. And we didn't. For several minutes, they simply watched the sky change colors. No phones, no hurry, no plans. Just two old friends sharing the kind of silence that only lifelong memories can understand. It wasn't the village that made those years beautiful. It wasn't the old bridge or the river or the oak tree. It was the way people lived, the way neighbors knew one another, the way evenings belonged to families, The way children measured wealth by adventures, not possessions. The way happiness quietly lived inside ordinary days. Perhaps that's why those memories still feel warm today, because they remind us that peace was never something we had to earn. It was something we once knew naturally. And maybe, deep inside, we still do. Before leaving the next morning, Noah walked one last time to the bridge. The river flowed exactly as it always had, without rushing, without comparing itself to any other river, simply following its own path. He smiled. Maybe that was the quiet lesson childhood had been teaching all along. Life doesn't become meaningful because it moves faster. It becomes meaningful because we notice it. As you prepare to rest tonight, perhaps you don't need to return to the 1990s. Perhaps you only need to remember the feeling they gave us. The feeling of enough. Enough time, enough laughter, enough friendships, enough simple moments to fill an ordinary day with extraordinary peace. And maybe, tomorrow, you'll carry a little of that quiet with you. Not because the world has slowed down, but because you have. Remember, the richest childhood wasn't measured by what we owned, but by what we experienced. The best conversations were often the ones without distractions. The most beautiful memories were created on completely ordinary days. Growing older is unavoidable. Growing distant from simple joy is not. Sometimes the longest journey we'll ever take is the one back to ourselves. Home is not always a place. Sometimes it's a feeling that has been patiently waiting inside us all along. If this story brought back even one peaceful memory, I'd love to hear about it. Share your favorite childhood memory in the comments below. Someone reading it may be reminded of their own. And if stories like this help you slow down after a busy day, consider subscribing to the channel. There will always be another quiet journey waiting for you here. Until next time, sleep peacefully, dream gently, and never forget the quiet child who still lives inside your heart. Good night.